Hey, physics friends. My name is Mr. Hare. I wanted to take some time to introduce myself, talk to you a little bit about what you're going to be facing in physics, explain to you what are some pro tips that I've seen in my years of teaching, and I guess overall just introduce myself. My name's Mr. Hare. I'm more formally known as Matt Hare. That's my real name. Some of the things that I'm into. This is my family. Right here, I have three daughters. Maya, who is starting in the middle school. Sadie, she's in the elementary school. And Isla, who is starting 4K this year. I really enjoy golf. That's our friend Mr. Sponsor and I. Golfing this summer. I really like to water ski, bike, fish. This is my dad and my brother. And Maya was into swimming this year for the first time. I'll just give you kind of a quick tour of my Instagram. I mean, it's private, so you can't really see it, but you can learn a lot about people from their pictures. So I'll just kind of scroll down through these, maybe highlight a few that. Oh, this one that you saw, it's fun. This is a business card that's going on the International Space Station. So the family got to sign it. So it's going up, and I don't know if it's up there yet, but it's on its way. I like to do a lot of woodworking. This is a deck box that I made. This is something for Brandy Old Fashions that I made in the past. There's some fun stuff. I made bunk beds for the girls. I make lake maps cut out with lasers for my friends. I like to do some art here and again. This was a piece that I did during the COVID, where I made a bunch of stencils that I cut out with an X-Acto knife, and then just spray painted different colored layers, if you will. Used a hair dryer in between. This is a time lapse of me doing it. I learned it from a woman named Sarah, Simply Sarah Art on YouTube. Shout out to her if you're interested in kind of doing something like this for yourself. If you find this kind of neat, she's got some really cool pieces that are a little bit beyond me right now, but I learned it from watching her YouTube channel. I'll do my last layer of black here. Suffice to say, I love building stuff. Like, that's one of my passions in life, is to build and create things. And I like the challenge of not knowing what I'm doing and being comfortable, not knowing what I'm doing and being okay screwing that stuff up. So, yeah, and physics now. That's a little bit about me. Oh, I've got maybe some more things if you wanted to see. I went to high school down the road in Cuba City, so I'm a lot like some of you, where I kind of grew up in this area. But then after I went to college at UW-Platteville, my first job outside of college was in Hawaii. I taught in Hawaii for 2 years, and then I taught near Milwaukee at a town called East Troy. I taught there for 9 years, and I've been here since 2013. So some of the different things that I've been blessed with in my teaching career, I was a Space Educator Award nominee and finalist in 2021, Herb Cole Teacher Fellowship. UW-Platteville is Outstanding Alumni, Wisconsin Society of Teachers Excellence in Education Award, 2013. And to this date, I've written over $30,000 in grants for students here that work with the Hunch program with me. Physics. Some of the things, let's talk just a little bit about physics. These are the units that we're going to be going through. Basic training, where you're going to be learning how to measure, how to do significant figures, dimensional analysis, units. And then we're going to get into straight line movement, like going at a constant speed. Maybe you're accelerating. How does that affect motion? And then we'll do two-dimensional motion. So that's like projectiles. Then we'll start talking about forces. Like, what if you push on something? What if you push down on something? How does that affect your motion? We'll get into rotation, like spinning things. What if you start pushing on things to make them spin? We'll get into momentum. So all the first semester is going to be particles. Like, how do cars and planes and things around us move? Second semester, we're going to shift gears and we're going to talk about waves and electricity and thermodynamics. So we'll talk a little bit about how heat moves from point A to point B, thermodynamics. We'll talk about sound, waves, light, reflection, refraction. Those are all electromagnetic radiation. And then we'll talk about electricity, so you can get an idea of kind of what we're looking at throughout the year. You don't need much for physics. You really just need a 3-ring binder to put things in, and you could really not even do that. You could get away with just a folder, but it's nice to have a 3-ring binder. You do need a scientific calculator. And what I mean by that is it's got a sine, cosine, and tangent key. You don't need to have a graphing calculator, and graphing calculators are those calculators that have the big screen on them. If you have them, they're fine, but you don't need one. They're kind of expensive. And headphones. Some of the things like today, you're going to be having videos to be assigned to you, and having headphones are pretty nice. I used to have this, and I'm now going to take this away because I have enough of these at school. So you don't need a protractor and a compass. If you'd like one to have of your own, you can, but I've got things that I can lend to you. I do round, so if you're like 89.5, I'll round it up to a 90, not a problem. And I don't offer extra credit, so don't ask. I am open, though, for debate. If you ever have a question on why you got a grade, what you did, I'm always open to interpretation to hear what your justification is. And if you have an idea of what I could be doing better, I'm always open for that. The best way to do that is to not do it right in front of everybody. Just stick around after class and have a private conversation, and we can absolutely do that. That's something that's a very good life skill. Always confront people in private, but praise people in public. And I'll do my best to be modeling that with you throughout the year. Tests are 60%, quizzes and online videos are 10%. Your quarter grades, your final exam is going to be worth 10%. We're going to be doing quizzes almost every day. And when a quiz is just one question, 2 questions, I mean, they are usually designed to take anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes to take. So they're not like, and it's always on the material that we worked on that day. So it's kind of like an exit ticket, if you will. Like, here, I just want to see how you're doing with the material. It's for both of us, you know, like I want to know how you're doing. It's me kind of taking your temperature to see if you're well. If you're not, that's when we kind of like I try to pull you in during Pride time to say, what can I do to help you before we get to the test. I really don't care if you're gone for a quiz, because what I'll end up doing, I just replace your quiz with whatever you get on the test. So, and even if you are here, like let's say you get a 70% on a quiz and then you end up with an 85 or a 90 on the test, I just go back and I replace that 75% on your quiz with whatever you get on the test. So quizzes they're a really good place to fail. It's important that you fail and that you learn from it there. That's the best thing. And this is messy work, but it's okay to fail. I want you to fail often. I want you to fail hard on those quizzes. Absences really come into effect, especially in the spring when like track and softball and soccer, they're all pulling you to miss school. So I don't care if you miss a quiz. We'll just leave it blank and we'll put it in with whatever you get with a test. But if you have a test, I need you to take that before you go. It's not fair that you get an extra day just because you're in sports. Some people, they work really hard and they don't think that it's fair, and I don't think that it's fair. Just because you knew you were going to be gone, I need you to be responsible. There are times where you don't know you're going to be gone. Like, I'm sick today. Yeah, I get it. Like, I have this doctor's appointment that came up because I was sick. That's okay. Things that you didn't know about, something happened in my family. We will take care of it. Not a big deal. But if it's something that's prearranged, sports, F Troop, FFA, student council, band, vacations, Model UN, outdoor ed, prearranged doctor's appointments, sports, college visits, I need you to take that test before you leave. Otherwise, it's a 10% reduction in score when you do take it. Your tests are curved. So I curve them. I take the class's average, and if the class average, let's say, is an 80, I'll give everybody 2 points to make it an 82. If the class's average is a 70, I will give everybody 12 points to make the class's average 82. So I make the class's average equal to an 82%, and that's the way that I'll curve. I want you to sign this you to sign it. I want your parents or guardians to sign it. I've signed it, and Mr. Craze has also signed it, just so these are the things, my expectations, because later on in the semester, some people have issues with this, especially the tests. When I take away 10%, I need you to own that because you knew about it, and we're going to move on, okay? Own up to it, and we can move on. The last thing I want to leave you with here today, physics pro tips. I've been doing this for 20 years now, and these are the things that I think will help you the most with physics. A lot of the ways that I teach physics is I structure a lot of our class time around conversations. So you're going to go home and watch a video of me explaining physics. You don't have to know what I'm talking about. All you have to do is take notes. You may not get it, and that is okay. It is completely okay to watch my video explaining things, and you're like, I have no freaking clue what he's talking about. Yes, because we're going to talk about it tomorrow and digest that material, but I want you to get definitions. I want you to get example problems down in your notes, so that when we come to class tomorrow, you're going to get better at it tomorrow. So it's okay that when you watch a video, you don't understand it. We're going to take that apart the next day. So just be patient. Thing number 1, stay engaged. I don't know, even if you're watching this video right now, maybe you have your phone out and you're sitting here. I want you to dedicate your physics time to physics. When we're in class, keep your electronics away and engage and invest in this time. This is where you're getting your physics. So stay engaged, stay present. Number 2, speak your truth. When we get into groups, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about this question? You don't have to go along with the other person just because of who they are. Whatever you think the answer is, speak it. Be confident in your ideas and why you think that, because sometimes they'll be right, sometimes they'll be wrong, but it's okay I want you to be comfortable speaking what you think. This one kind of goes along with what I was just saying. Expect and be okay with not getting answers immediately. If you go through a video and you don't get it, that's okay. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. I promise you, I want nothing more than to help you. We're kind of limited by time sometimes, and I'm limited by other people and just the schedule. But know that if you communicate with me, we will get you what you need. And I want nothing more than to help you. But when we're in class, I might not tell you the answer right away. I might answer your question with another question, and you might get frustrated by that. But it's not because I don't care about you. It's because I want you to think about it. And if you leave the door, you will not walk out my door without knowing the answer. And if you don't know the answer, I want you to turn and say, hey, Mr. Hare, could you explain that one more time? Please do. When we're talking in class with each other, I want there to be no guilt. I want it to be a safe place. I don't want you to shame other people, and I don't want you to pass judgment on other people. This should be a safe place where when we get together in groups to chat about this physics stuff, to be okay being wrong. The best physics students are always the ones who are always putting forth their ideas and bouncing them off. They're not necessarily right the first time, but it's important that you're okay sharing. And it's important that I make this a safe place, that we make this a safe place for you to share without fear. When you have disagreements, disagree with the idea and not the person. It's okay to say, I don't agree with you. And it's okay to be not agreed with. And I want you to do it respectfully. I want you to do it in a polite way. Expect to be stretched. Physics is challenging. It's not that the people will say, I'm no good at math. I'm telling you, if you can add, subtract, multiply, divide, the math here is not what's hard. When do you add and when do you subtract? That's what's hard about this. And expect to be challenged by it. It is not simple. In the end, you may look back and you're like, oh, that was so simple. But it is very complex. So there's a naughty word. The naughty word is easy. It's not easy for everybody. And it's okay to not see something the first time and understand it. We will get you through. And then lastly, listen to learn, question to understand. This is the motto for UW-Platteville School of Education. I need you to listen. And undoubtedly, you're watching this and you probably took a physics general knowledge test and you realize that nobody knows anything. Physics is not intuitive. It becomes intuitive once you kind of get the rules of the game, but until you understand those rules, it's important that you're listening to one another. That, like, when you put forth an idea, listen to the other person's idea to see if it jives with you, or like, could you find a hole in that? And you can disagree respectfully, but listen to learn, question to understand it. So, Mr. Hare, what if we did this? Like, what if we turned it around and we did it this way? Fantastic questions. I think I've yacked at you long enough. I appreciate you sticking with me up to this point. I really look forward to this year. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully I don't get on your nerves too much. Have a great day, physics friends, and we'll see you later.